Do you know that some dogs can become real music critics? Yes, when your four-legged friend starts howling to the sounds of a violin or joins your singing in the shower, he is demonstrating one of the most mysterious and charming behavioral traits of dogs. Why do our furry companions sometimes transform into improvised opera singers? Today, we will dive into this amazing world of canine vocals and uncover the secrets behind this phenomenon. This topic is not just amusing. It can help you better understand your pet and its reactions to the surrounding world. Dogs perceive sounds quite differently than we do, and their musical preferences can tell us a lot about what's happening in their amazing canine minds. Let's start from the beginning, with the evolutionary roots of howling. Have you ever wondered why wolves howl at the moon? In fact, they are not addressing the celestial body at all. Howling is an ancient method of communication that dogs inherited from their wild ancestors. In nature, wolves use howling to gather the pack, mark territory, or simply inform their kin about their location. The sound of howling can travel for kilometers, making it an ideal means of communication in the wild. When your dog starts howling along to music, it is unconsciously responding to this ancient instinct. Musical sounds, especially certain notes and timbres, may remind the dog of the howling of its kind, and it responds as programmed by nature, by joining the chorus. This is a kind of social behavior, a way to feel connected to invisible fellows that it hears in the music. Interestingly, not all dogs react to music in the same way. Studies show that only about 10% of dogs regularly howl in response to musical sounds. This depends on many factors: breed, individual hearing characteristics, past experiences, and even the pet's mood. Some breeds, such as Huskies, Malamutes, and other northern dogs, are more prone to vocalization in general and more often sing along with you. But it's not just about genetics. The unique structure of a dog's ear plays a huge role in how our pets perceive music. Dogs hear sounds in the range from 20 Hz to 45,000 Hz, while human hearing is limited to approximately 20,000 Hz. This means that dogs perceive sounds that are absolutely inaccessible to us. Imagine what happens when you turn on your favorite song. What sounds like a harmonious melody to you might be a completely different experience for your dog. It hears not only the basic notes, but also overtones and ultrasounds that musical instruments or electronic equipment might produce. Some of these sounds may be unpleasant or alarming to it, while others might remind it of familiar signals. It's especially interesting to observe how dogs react to human singing. Many owners notice that their pets start howling precisely when someone in the house sings or plays a musical instrument. Another mechanism works here. Dogs are very sensitive to changes in their owner's behavior. When you start singing, your dog notices that you're doing something unusual and might interpret this as an invitation to join in the activity. But there is also a more scientific explanation. Researchers from the University of Colorado conducted an experiment in which they played various types of music to dogs and recorded their reactions. It turned out that certain musical intervals and high notes are more likely to provoke howling in dogs. These sounds may be perceived by the canine ear as uncomfortable or even painful, and howling becomes a way to express this discomfort or an attempt to correct the unpleasant sound by adding their voice to it. What about the emotional component? Does your dog experience pleasure when howling along to music? The answer is not so simple. Some dogs do indeed get pleasure from this process. Their body is relaxed, their tail is wagging, and they appear engaged and interested. Others may show signs of stress, yawning, licking their lips, or looking tense. It's important to observe your pet's body language to understand whether it enjoys this musical experience or simply cannot help reacting to certain sounds. If your dog looks tense or tries to leave when music starts playing, these sounds may be causing it discomfort, and it's better not to encourage such behavior. By the way, about dogs' musical preferences, did you know that there is special music created for canine ears? Research shows that dogs prefer certain genres of music over others. Classical music, especially works by Bach and Mozart, has a calming effect on most dogs. But heavy rock or electronic music with sharp sounds and a fast rhythm can cause them anxiety. Music therapist and researcher Susan Rausch has even developed special dog music that takes into account the peculiarities of canine hearing and psychology. This music has a simpler structure than human music, uses sounds in a comfortable range for dogs, and has a rhythm corresponding to the heart rate of a relaxed dog. Many animal shelters use such music to help dogs cope with stress. But let's return to howling. Sometimes dogs howl not only to music but also to other sounds, sirens, phone rings, or even a child's cry. This happens for the same reason. Certain frequencies and timbres trigger an ancient instinct. Interestingly, some dogs can learn to howl on command or in certain situations if this behavior receives positive reinforcement. For example, if you laugh and pay attention to the dog every time it howls along to your piano playing, it will quickly understand that this is a good way to get your reaction. Dogs are masters at reading our emotions and manipulating us for attention. So if your dog regularly puts on musical performances, perhaps it has simply found an effective way to become the center of attention. Did you know that dogs can distinguish between different musical styles? In a study conducted at the University of Glasgow, dogs were played different genres of music, and their reactions were observed. It turned out that reggae and soft rock elicited the most positive reactions from most dogs. They became more relaxed and calm. But Mozart's classical music, contrary to popular belief, did not make a special impression on them. Another interesting fact: dogs can synchronize their howling with music. If you listen carefully to how your dog howls along to a song, you may notice that it tries to match the tone or even the rhythm. This is not accidental. Dogs have an amazing ability to pick up musical patterns and adapt their voice to them. This is another proof of how complex the canine brain and perception are. By the way, if your dog never howls along to music, this is completely normal. As we've already said, only a minority of dogs show such a reaction. This doesn't mean your pet is less musical or less sensitive. It just has a different way of perceiving sounds. Some dogs may react to music in other ways. For example, by tilting their head, listening attentively, or simply relaxing to pleasant melodies. If you want to teach your dog to sing, it is possible, but it requires patience and the right approach. Start by finding a sound or melody that naturally makes your pet want to howl. This could be a certain song, the sound of a harmonica, or even your own howling. When the dog starts howling, encourage it with treats and praise. Gradually, you can add a verbal command to this, such as sing or voice, and your dog will learn to associate this word with the action. In conclusion, we can say that dogs howling to music is an amazing phenomenon that intertwines ancient instincts, unique features of canine hearing, social behavior, and even the individual character of your pet. When your dog howls along to your favorite song, it's not just making sounds, it's communicating with you and the world around it in its own language. Now, a question for discussion in the comments. Does your dog ever howl along to music? If so, what songs or sounds trigger such a reaction? Share your stories. It's always interesting to learn about the musical preferences of your four-legged friends. If you found this episode about the musical talents of our pets interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell to not miss new videos about the amazing world of dogs. Your support helps us create more educational content about our four-legged friends. Share this video with your dog-loving friends. Perhaps it will help them better understand their musical pets. In upcoming episodes, we will continue to uncover the mysteries of canine behavior and discuss many more interesting topics. Get ready for new discoveries. Our furry friends never cease to amaze us. And remember, when your dog howls at the moon or sings along to your favorite song, it's not just making noise. It's telling a story that began thousands of years ago in wild forests and continues now in your home. Listen to this story. It's worth hearing.